My name is Justin. I'm a software engineer, and today I'm going to teach you the basics of programming in about 5 to 10 minutes. I need to be more convincing. Hey, my name is Justin, and I'm a software engineer. What I want to do in this video is show you some of the fundamentals of programming using software that you already have on your computer, so you won't need to install anything extra or do anything else. And what I want to do in this video is try to condense my 8 years of higher education into a few simple points that's easy to implement and easy to understand. Now, obviously, this is going to be kind of difficult, mostly because they didn't teach me any of this stuff in college, but that's okay. So what you can do is boot up your computer and open any browser you want. Any browser is fine. You know, Chrome, Firefox. I'm going to go with Chrome because that's my favorite browser. It's the one I use all the time. And maybe if I plug enough Google products, Google will give me a job. Okay, so I have my Chrome window open, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and press F12, which opens the developer console. Now, it might not open to the console. It might open to one of these other tools. There's a ton of useful tools. If it opens to something else like sources or network, just go ahead and switch over to the console, which is where we're going to be doing our programming right now. So what this is actually a JavaScript console, and JavaScript is one of the more popular programming languages, especially for the web, which is super cool. So we're going to be doing real programming in a real language that people actually use. So let's go ahead and get started at the beginning. 1 plus 1. And that's it. Now you're a software engineer. You can go ahead and get a 6-figure job. Throw that on your resume. Great. If you want to do something a little more in depth, you can go ahead and type in a string, which is just a sequence of characters surrounded by either single quotes or double quotes. It doesn't actually matter. And if you type that in, it's going to spit it back out at you. So obviously that stuff is super basic. So something else I want to explain is the idea of classes or objects. And I'm not going to really explain the difference between the two, but there's an idea of an object in programming, which is just a thing. And objects can have properties and methods. So properties are generally information about that object, like a ball can be red or blue or yellow or big. And methods allow you to do something. So they offer some sort of functionality to you. So let's take a look at the math object, and it has a bunch of methods here that we can use. So let's take a look at SQRT, which is square root. So if we take the square root of 4, we're going to go ahead and get a 2. And if we take the square root of 16, we're going to get 4. And if we take the square root of the square root of, let's say, 10,000, we're going to get 10, because 10 times 10 is 100, 100 times 100 is 10,000. And something else that's kind of important to understand is the idea of variables. And variables work basically just like math. So you can create a variable. Let's call our variable x and say that it is equal to 25. So let's take a look at x. It is 25. So as you might be able to guess, if we took the square root of x, we're going to get 5. Awesome. And there's a bunch of other cool objects that you have access to right now because you're in the context of this Chrome browser. So I can actually look at the window, and it has a whole bunch of properties and methods. So if I said window dot what? What's interesting about the window? Okay, so if I said window dot screen, that would give me some information about the screen that this window is on. So the available width, 1920 pixels, left to right. The height I have available is 1040, and where that 1040 comes from is, normally displays are 1080, but my taskbar, which you actually can't see right now at the bottom of the screen, is 40 pixels tall. So the screen for my window only has 1040 pixels available because the taskbar is taking up the rest of that. There's a bunch of other properties here. Orientation, landscape. I'm not using my computer in portrait mode. That would be really weird. And let's see what else we can do with the window. We can open a new URL. So let's open let's tell Google to open Yahoo, because that makes sense. There you go. Yahoo's open. We go ahead and close that tab. What else can we do with window? Window dot what else is in here? Window dot secret message. Let's see what that is. Huh. That's weird. Well, if it's in Chrome, you got to do it. Let's see what else we can do. We can do window dot close, which is actually just going to close our window. Obviously, there's a lot more you can do with programming and with just that JavaScript console in general. So what I advise you to do is just Google the sort of things that you want to do. The Mozilla documentation, MDN, actually has a lot of great resources on some of the more complex concepts. So if you just want to figure out how to do something, the best way to do it is to Google it and to see how people have already implemented those things and read the documentation. And that's about it. It's really not that difficult to do. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any other videos you want to see, any ideas for me, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you have any criticism, any sort of opinions about things I did wrong, don't leave them in the comments, because my ego can't really handle that. So, thanks.